The afternoon session is about to begin. We are going to go through the Hacker House demos. We are getting started in 2 minutes. Please begin to make your way to your seats. They're watching that live. Yeah.
You guys may notice that lunch sign at the top.
All right.
That was a great lunch.
Time for section number 2. 2 minutes goes fast. 3 minutes goes fast. That's how much time each of the projects that you guys are about to see, that's how much time each of them gets. So really quickly, what you're about to see is coming from multiple days of these builders spending day in, day out, working on their projects at the Stacks Hacker House over the course of the last week. So this has been a very fun and enjoyable experience where several of these projects have won some sort of Stacks builder competition previously. This was a campaign that started back in late September, early October. And so every project that you're about to see has had the opportunity and earned their spots to win a hackathon and earn their way into the Stacks Hacker House. This was a 4 or 5 day long hacker house with different workshops, different times where they're just spending every minute of the hour working on their projects. And now they're going to be put into this very high pressure, stressful environment of giving their demos across in 3 minutes. So we have 11 projects that you are about to see. Yes. So in this order, I'm going to quickly go through everyone. Up first, we have Reparito. Second is Bitcoin University. 3 is Big Market. 4 is HyperInsure. 5 is Stacks Machines. Then X402 Stacks, followed by Certificores, followed by CV Chain, Rather Strategy, and then B2 Picks. We're going to get through all of those, one project, 3 minutes at a time. Let's hear it for our first presenter. Right here. Let's hear it for Reparito.
Let's go.
Hello. Thank you for being here. It's a beautiful sunny day. So I am Omar. I am the creator and founder of Reparito. Reparito is the decentralized talent economy powered by people you trust. So I have been doing freelancer for a long time, especially here in Latin America. That is really important for this part of the world. But there is something that is really painful. Most of the time, freelancing is lonely. It's hard to do the work. It's hard to find clients. It's hard to, do all the networking. I mean, it's really hard. You have to do everything yourself. So thousands of Web3 talents don't have the opportunity to be discovered. When I entered the industry, I realized this. So thousands of freelancers worldwide are wondering, what's next? How can I get a client? How can I get a new project? How can I be part of something new, to be part of a new project? So I think this can be different. What if there was a platform where you can find your next freelancer project by help of people you trust? Enter Reparito. Reparito is a decentralized talent platform for Web3, built stacks and secured by Bitcoin. We align incentives between freelancers, talent scouts, and clients through smart contracts to ensure that everyone involved receives their fair share. So Referido is focused on link referrals. So the whole system allows the users to connect to each other. You can see here a little sample of this. So this platform allows the freelancers to set their commissions to also, with blockchain, be sure that everybody will receive the automatic commission distribution. So, and the best part is that everybody can be a talent scout for all the users. So I'm going to show you a little demo here. All right, this is how it works. So a user enters to our platform, connect their wallet. So the user set the profile and can, decide how much profit, commission fee can give to someone to find a job for him. And he can actually search for other users and connect and get a referral link. With this referral link, they can actually connect with other users. There was a transfer happening in the blockchain. So you can see the platform is working really well. We are working in do some little stuff to prove it. So yeah, this is Referido. So we are building the decentralized talent economy powered by people you trust. So with Referido, freelancers set their own referral commissions, talent scout, and automatically the blockchain enforce who gets paid by automatic commission distribution. So if you want to join this project, there is our link to our Telegram. You can take a picture. So with Referido, we are starting the decentralized talent economy powered by people you trust. Thank you.
Great work, great work. All right, we're getting right into the next one. So speaker number 2, Bitcoin University, please start making your way up to the stage. Woo! Here for Bitcoin University.
Buenos dias, Buenos Aires. I'm so excited to be here and share with you guys why I'm here and what I'm building. So my daughter, I'm building for my daughter. She's my biggest inspiration. I'm building Bitcoin University for her. I missed her birthday to be here. And so I just, I told her I was going to be here for a reason. And that reason is that I believe education can unlock sovereignty and opportunity for the next generation. That's why BTCU exists, to create a pathway to financial freedom and meaningful work in the Bitcoin economy. The world has changed and is still changing. People worldwide are fleeing weak fiat currency, seeking stability and control over their wealth. Bitcoin offers global, borderless, sovereign money, accessible by anybody with an internet connection. But we still have an education gap. Traditional education systems haven't evolved to teach people how to participate in this new economy. Traditional universities are failing the next generation of learners and workers. It's too expensive. The curriculum is outdated. People aren't graduating and getting jobs in the field that they're studying. And they're graduating with debt. People need skills, not diplomas, and they need income, not debt. That's where crypto comes in. It provides an opportunity. The Bitcoin and stacks economy is rapidly expanding, but there's no talent pipeline to fill these critical roles. Companies are hiring and opportunities are abundant, but beginners have no clear way in. The real problem is that wallets are confusing and seed phrases are scary. Educational resources are scattered across the ecosystem and fragmented. Career paths are unclear and people don't know which skills lead to real jobs in the crypto economy. That's where Bitcoin University comes in. A friendlier, simpler, modern way to learn Bitcoin and enter the global crypto economy. BTCU removes every barrier between curiosity and capability. We're building the front door to the Bitcoin economy, designed for absolute beginners with real opportunities. So we're designing beginner-friendly courses for anybody, regardless of technical background. We have a mobile-first UX design so that you can learn anywhere, anytime from your mobile phone. And we're using AI to personalize instruction that adapts to your personal learning style. We are going to connect you with peers in the space that you can learn with, and also mentors to help you guide you through your journey. After completing courses, you will receive on-chain credentials. And we know all of the companies in the Stacks and Bitcoin ecosystem that are building on Bitcoin, so we can connect you directly to companies that are hiring talent. So frictionless onboarding. We partnered with Turnkey and developed a way for you to create a wallet with your biometrics, so Face ID or fingerprint. And so there's no passwords, no complexity. You get an instant wallet and you can jump straight into your first lesson in under 30 seconds. So by limiting friction at the entry point, we ensure that nobody is left behind. So as you can see, it's very simple. You log in, you sign up with passkey. Your seed phrases are stored on your device, and you can instantly get access to course content and resources. And when you're finished, you can mint your NFT certificate. Bitcoin University, let's build a future for our children. Thank you.
Well done, Bitcoin University. Moving on to our next project. Come on up, Big Market. Let's hear for Big Market.
Yeah, of course. Hello, and good afternoon to everybody. My name is Antonio. I'm representing Big Market, and let me tell you about what Big Market is today. So Big Market is a prediction market, and for those who don't know, prediction market is like a platform that helps us predict future. For example, will it rain tomorrow? So we build a prediction market around one certain problem. And the problem is that information does not necessarily always means that that is truth. And truth, we believed in the past, that leads to wisdom and power. So we are overwhelmed with misinformation around us in today's world. And the question is like, what can we trust? So basically, one of the basic problems that is facing humanity today is like, how do we distinguish that signal from noise? Everything in the media, we are bombarded with like untruthful information. Libra here happened in Argentina. Can we trust governments? Can we trust politicians? Like, what can we actually trust? And the notion of prediction market exists for quite some time, but we have built Big Market completely different. We have built Big Market around a concept of DAO, and we have made it like severely or radically decentralized. Participation, anybody who participates on the platform basically gives signals for that truth discovery. Accuracy, if you are the person that has insider knowledge or information, will it rain tomorrow, will basically make you earn more reputation because information that you're providing to the platform is more accurate. Resolution on the platform, where other platforms are lacking in terms of the speed and trustworthiness, we have a triple layer system, and basically AI, oracles, and humans are working together to resolve the markets, will it rain tomorrow, on the fastest possible way, which leads us to the multiple applications in DeFi around our platform. There is a saying, when you come into the casino, house always wins, right? Because big market is built around concept of DAO, we have built it on a way that we build the house and we invite everybody to join in just by participating. You don't need to stake money, put money, just come there, leave a comment, and you immediately receive in our ecosystem something which is called soulbound token, like something that is very tied to you. And your soulbound token, soulbound reputation token, cannot be traded or exchanged for anything else except for the big market IDO token, meaning that everybody can participation, take part into the protocol. Speed matters because triple layer system makes market cycle through very fast, which allows multiple applications in different industries.
Insure, come on up, Hyper Insure.
Okay, I check. Yeah. I've been sure. So we are protecting institutional Bitcoin transactions. Uh, Imagine this: you have a massive arbitrage opportunity. Agents has been placed, counterparties aligned, millions of liquidity has been posted, and suddenly your transaction or your trade doesn't go through. That's gonna be suck. People have been posting about it on X, and these are like some of the real numbers here. Like approximately 1,000 transactions, which are of very high value, didn't go through. Like 18% of failure rate because of the massive spike at a network congestion level. If you ask me, protocol risk is very real. It could be related to, not paying the enough amount, mempool congestion at a Bitcoin level, or every missed block impacts on the liquidity that you are holding. So you wouldn't want that when you're dealing with that level or that volume of trade. So here comes HyperInsure. What you have to do is before putting that high volume of transaction at a network, just buy one of the insurance policy at our platform, and we take care of everything from network congestion to network monitoring from mempool, and we make sure your transaction goes through. And if it doesn't, and if your claim is legitimate, you will receive the payout. So ready to eliminate the protocol risk? I'm going to show you a small demo how it works. All you have to do is just connect your Leather wallet. Simply, as soon as your wallet is loaded, just select one of the package. Now, what it does, here you have standard packages. just have to make sure like, okay, I'm okay with this much amount of delayed time, just enter the amount, purchase the policy, perfect. Now, once you have the policy set, all you have to do is, submit the claim. If your claim is legitimate, you will receive the payouts. Everything is, done by automation, smart contract. So the payout and everything is automated. And guys, what? We are live with HyperInsure. Just scan this, test out the whole platform, and there you go. So
Very nice.
that's HyperInsure for you.
Nice job, HyperInsure. Okay, next we have Stacks Machines. Come on up, Stacks Machines. Time for you to take stage. There we go. Yay, Stacks Machines.
Oh. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Jan Alarcon. So I'm gonna present about Stacks Machine. So the problems that we realize is like we want to help developers and we want to help founders, and we realize that these two important people face two problems. First, developers they need more, assistant or tools for them to keep and develop fast, and founders they need to show their idea, their product in a better way, in a way that this idea is almost production ready release. So that's why we have Stack Machine, this tool, AI tool that will give to you a high quality clarity smart contract. It means with this tool you can get almost production ready clarity contracts, and you can show and you can keep shipping. Also, with this tool is especially for developers, so we can onboard thousands of developers that we have here. And the idea is to accelerate, to boost. For example, in this case, we can achieve very high speed. So how does it work? So we will collect so this is the architecture, sorry. So basically the user or the developer is gonna ask any kind of question related to clarity, stacks on our environment. It can be Visual Studio Code or Cursor. And we'll have an internal server that will handle all of these queries that we have. But before that, we have to ingest all of this knowledge data into our database, so the MCP or the tool can actually retrieve this data to the users. So this is the main flow. So here I want to show a bit more, but it's not showing. How is it? It's not showing my slide, but anyway. So yeah, happy to partner with us. So the idea is to scale this. For example, this is a project on early stage. We are just a POC. So, but the idea at the end is to scale this to production, to have this tool that can provide a much better response, a much faster response, and can provide an answer or can reply this developer's question in a fast way. Yeah, that's basically it. So with this tool, we can achieve what Stack is needing to build BTC-fied projects. So anyone can easily just come, log in, register, and start building the projects that is gonna leverage BTC5 into the next level. This is my QR code, so happy to connect. Thank you.
Great job. Thank you, Stacks Machines. For our next presenter, come on up. Let's hear it for X402 Stacks.
Sí, gracias. Hey everyone, great to be here. My name is Antonio, and you guys can see the screen, but basically this is a cloud interaction. I was trying to get Cloud to use an API, and he says it's not possible. Why? Because internet payments are made for the old use. What is that flow? So for example, let's say you want to interact with an API. You need to go sign up, get an API key. And once you have that API key, now you can start using that API. But there's a problem. Basically, agents don't have a credit card. They want to pay for a service, if they want to pay for a API, for anything, they cannot pay, but they still need to get some resources. That's why I want to introduce you to X402 on Stacks, the native Bitcoin payment protocol. But first of all, what is X402? So whenever you guys go to the internet, you're going to get a response on the browser, on your mobile device. Whenever you try to go to the internet, you're going to get a status code. That represents the action. So for example, if everything is okay, you're going to get a 200. If you cannot find a resource, you're going to get a 404. You know, like the one in the ground with the dinosaur. So those are the status code. We also have the 402 status code, which represents payment required. In the past, we were not able to use this status code because there was no way to have micropayments. You won't pay with your credit card. You know, like it's more expensive to pay with a credit card 1 cent than actually doing something else, right? So we were not able to use this status code correctly. But now with Bitcoin and micropayments, we can add the payment details to that response. So this is the basic flow of how X402 works. So we have a client, let's say your AI agent. That AI agent wants to consume one resource, maybe an API to get a TikTok video, whatever. So it goes to that API, and the API will respond with 402. That's their normal flow. Actually, that works right now. But instead of only responding with 402, now the backend is going to send also the payment details, my wallet, and also the amount of SBTC that I want to receive for that resource. So once I get that information on the client, your agent will send that amount of SBTC to the backend. The backend will verify, the facilitator will verify the transaction. And once the verification is done, you are going to get the resource you were looking, X402. So what this means for the industry. So basically, now every content creator, like if you are posting something on your blog and maybe an LLM is scrapping your blog for that information, instead of only get scrapped, now you can charge and get paid on Bitcoin for that resource. All right, another content creation. Something important I want to touch here is that yesterday, 30% of all the base transactions were made by X402 protocol. 20% on base. That's a lot, and that's a huge opportunity for the Bitcoin ecosystem. So I have a quick demo here. I think I'm going to skip it because I cannot see it here. But basically, I was trying to get information from that TikTok video. That's the cloud example I was showing at the beginning. So I couldn't do it. But with X402 on the stacks, now I can get paid with SBTC with Bitcoin and get that resource. I'm going to skip the video because we cannot see anything. But well, let me introduce you to the team. So my co-founder and CTO, Cloudco, he's really good at AI, at coding. And me, Antonio, I've been founder many times before. I did Y Combinator a few years ago and also launched the first crypto credit card in Mexico. And well, if you guys want to start Stacks X402, you can scan this QR code. It's ready. It's now ready on TypeScript. And if you're gonna connect, my DMs are open. So thank you so much, guys. Woo!
Well done, X402 Stacks. Let's bring up our next presenter, Certificors, you are up. Take the stage. It is your time. Let's hear it, everyone, for certificors. Come on up, Christian. Yeah.
I need more muscle.
Hold this right here.
Hold on. It's gonna fall down.
Sorry.
It's not gonna work. Oh, there we go. There we go. We got it. We got it. Ooh. Yay! Look at that muscle.
All right.
Mike's looking like fun.
con el otro compañero.
All right, so quick pivots. We are going to bring up a different project, and you will go after the next person. We will give out headsets.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So, my mistake, everybody. Our next project is actually going to be Move Your Wallet. Move Your Wallet. Let's hear it for Move Your Wallet. Come on stage. Woo! After Move Your Wallet, then we will do Certificors. Certificors presentation is going to be in Spanish, so the production team will be handing out headsets. If you need a translation to English, just raise your hand when they come out, and they will give you a headset. But for now, we're going to go to Move Your Wallet. Este nomás.
Hello, everyone. My name is Manuel Elias. I'm the CEO and founder of Movia Wallet. But before I talk about that project, let's imagine that we are out and ask a random person if he can send us one USDC. Do you think that it's possible? Most likely not. And how many time it will take to teach that person how to create a wallet, save the seed phrase, have the token for the gas, and a lot of basic concepts and a lot of time. That's why I created Movia Wallet. It's a smart wallet for everyone, but focused on web to persons, where you don't need to understand blockchain concepts, have the network token for the gas, or sign the transaction, because it's gasless and signless. You just need to connect your Gmail and send messages for help transactions. That's all. And now I will show you a demo. Right now, we connected already our Gmail, and we are on the dashboard. We added pounds, and we just need to go to a chat, write the same 0.1 STX to the person. Let's wait a little. The agent is saying, would you like to confirm? Yes, and you just need to wait. Here you can see the transaction, the hash, then we have the history. And another feature that we have is that we can add a contact. Not only this, not only transactions, you can make swaps, just sending messages. It's like this. So the person that you went out to talk, now, yes, he can send you money, just with one transaction. What's Movia different from the other wallets? Simple access to your wallet and integrate AI assistant for transaction and swaps. This wallet is self-custodial. All the data will be stored in your phone. So we won't have your seed phrase or your private key, nothing. You have it. Our roadmap, we have 5 stages. We are right now in the second one, building the MVP. Next, we would like to have at least 1,000 users from Bolivia, Argentina, all Latin America. Then we would like to add all the feedback that we received, add new features, and finally have a pre-seed investment secure. This is the business model. We have 3 models. The first is commission for swaps, 0.5% for each swap. Then if you have a pro account, of course, you have to pay a monthly fee. The commission will be less for the swaps and priority super. And finally, the
Well done, move your wallet.
Standing up so long, crazy man. In the heat.
So for our next demo, we are going to be bringing up Sebastian from Rather Strategy to give us our next demo. So let's hear it for Rather Strategy.
No,
Somewhat.
antes lo probamos. Antes de ir a mejor. Okay. Thank you very much. There we go. My name is Sebastian Rosenberg. My name is Sebastian Rosenberg. I'm project manager. I'm part of the growth team at Radar Labs. Radar Labs is a local software company. We work with different foundations like Arbitrum Foundation, NEAR Foundation, MultiverseX, among many others. And this is our first approach into stacks and clarity. So we are really excited. And what we built is the Radar Strategy Protocol, which is about automated token strategies on stacks. So this strategy is trend. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's a hot topic right now across different ecosystems. It was following the Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy strategy, which is selling a token in order to a stock, in that case, in order to buy another asset, Bitcoin in that case. So the first one in this case was Punk Strategy, who launched a token called Punkster in order to buy CryptoPunks. They currently hold over 34, I think, CryptoPunks, which is huge, and the market cap is over $35 million in this dip. The week before it was like 9 figures. And beside this, it's happening with different NFT collections. And another example I added is Node Strategy, which is a token trading node monks, which is a Bitcoin ordinals collection. And also is a way to prove that this works and made the collection pump over a 70%. But there is a problem with Bitcoin ordinal. These strategies are not automated, are run by a centralized team. So we are aiming to solve that too. So how this automated token strategy works, just to make it short, basically someone launches a token and a liquidity pool to trade that token. That liquidity pool generates a trading fee. It can be set up by the creator, 5%, for example. So each time anyone buys or sells the token, it generates a fee that goes into a treasury. That treasury has an automated token strategy, and when it reaches the floor price of a particular NFT collection, it buys and released it on profit with a premium, let's say, for example, 20%. So when that NFT gets sold, all the proceeds are used to buy and burn the strategy token. This way, the strategy token helps the NFT collection, and the NFT collection helps the NFT token because it buys and burns it. So it generates a perpetual flywheel between both. And again, it's proven that it helps a lot the collections. So this is how it works. Next one. And we have built, I don't know if with the sun you can see the front end. The main developer behind this was Mauro Coco, who's present here. And we built a proof of concept, an MVP, to show this can be done on Clarity on Stacks. We did 4 smart contracts, one for the token interacting with LP, another one for the marketplace, another one for the NFTs, and for the trading strategy. So this works. We can see the other one. Here you can see the treasury balance of the trading fees. The floor price of the NFT collection is trading, so now it's ready to buy and release it on top. And the amount of the strategy token that have been bought and burned, it's a fixed supply token. So again, we want to bring this proven tool to the Stacks ecosystem and also solve this clear pain point on ordinals. So thank you for your time. You can connect here and we have.
Well done, Sebastian. You're good. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So for our next presenter, we're now going to bring certificators back up on stage. Christian, are you with us? Yeah. All right. So while we're waiting for Christian, Christian's going to come up now. After Christian, we have Beta Picks. We're going to finish up with Hawk. So, Lisa? Let's hear it for Christian, everybody.
¿Estás okay? Perfecto. Hola, bueno, mi nombre es Cristian, fundador de Certificate, y hoy les hablaré porque el fraude de diplomas hoy en día es una industria que mueve más de 7.000 millones de dólares cada año. Sí, así es una industria. Esto les está costando a las compañías miles de millones en malas contrataciones y asuntos legales. A los estudiantes no logran comprobar su verdadero valor y las instituciones ven dañada su reputación. El sistema actual es lento, caro y basado en la confianza, no en la verificación. Ahora iremos desde los sistemas obsoletos a un futuro de verificación instantánea, inmutable y universalmente certificable. Somos Certificate. Somos Certificate, la fuente oficial para la nueva validación de certificados académicos. Usamos la blockchain de Stack para lograr crear una verificación en segundos, proteger marcas de instituciones y una verificación instantánea de certificados. Nuestra plataforma crea valor para todos, las compañías, reclutadores, estudiantes e instituciones. Nuestro modelo de negocio es B2B SaaS. Compañías y reclutadores pagan una suscripción anual por nuestro sistema para poder verificar certificados. Ya tenemos un MVP trabajando. Dentro de los siguientes meses planeamos lanzar nuestro piloto con al menos 2 escuelas e-learning. Ahora veremos la demo, donde solamente ingresando el correo pueden encontrar la wallet y ingresando el nombre del curso certificamos en la blockchain de Stack. Aquí podemos ver cómo se genera el ID y está registrado en la blockchain de Stack. Sin ningún problema. Luego, como estudiante, pueden ver todos sus certificados listados y Dentro de una certificación tendremos un ID que nos llevará a validar el certificado de manera inmediata sin ningún problema. También tenemos un explorador público donde con el correo podemos buscar todos los certificados de un usuario, los datos de una academia y más información sobre un certificado particular. Si buscan Real Talento Certificados, hoy los certificará. Muchas gracias.
Well done, Christian. Well done. Let's hear it one more time for Christian. Great job. All right, so moving into our next speaker, we are down to our final two projects. Our next presenter, pointing to you, Ronell. Come on up, B2 Picks. It is your time to take the stage. Let's hear it for B2 Picks, everybody.
The only thing that was trying to make me nervous was the technical thing. But I did everything and made everything awful.
Like keep it more in 4 days, but what is it going to where did you have people other than from
Yeah, your program is like.
It's just going to be so far so good. I'm not sure every so often I lose connectivity. And I'm not sure if GP is accidentally hitting buttons and switching cameras. I'm from Brazil. I'm the founder of B2P. We are bringing Bitcoin self-custody for over 200 million of Brazilians. I worked over 15 years as a software engineer. During this time, I met Bitcoin. That was designed to be B2B, right? But B2B trading with fiat currency has several issues. We become a place full of scam and long negotiations, so we surrendered to the centralized exchange. We gave up our custody, our privacy for convenience. But if we could make B2B trading more secure and faster. Well, in Brazil, we have PIX. PIX is a standard payment system created by the central bank. Everyone there uses PIX to transfer money, to make purchase, any kind of payment. That's very popular. So what if we connect PIX with Bitcoin? This is what B2Pix did. B2Pix let anyone buy Bitcoin as easy as buy a cup of coffee. We took very seriously the simplicity and security. To buy Bitcoin, you just come to our website, create your wallet if you don't have one with your passkey, without the need to install any app. So choose an offer, pay with Pix. In a few instances, the system will verify in the seller's bank account if the payment was confirmed. So it will release in the smart contract the Bitcoin for the wallet, the buyer's wallet. We built it in the Stacks blockchain that can confirm the transactions in a few seconds and have the Bitcoin finality. Also, we use both protocol. Both protocol enable you pay the transaction fee with Bitcoin. So it avoids the dual token that it provides the best user experience like a Web2 experience. We already live on the mainnet and we are open gradually. So you're welcome to access our website and join our waiting list. Thank you. No, you sold your piece. You sold your piece.
Let's go.
Well done, Beatrix. Okay, so we're down to our last presenter. So let's go ahead and get into it for our next presenter. Muy especial, feliz cumpleaños a ti, Pablo. Let's hear it. Thank you. Wait, that's my double.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, that's my double.
Made it.
Take your time, take your time.
So thanks, my ass. Just need to copy whatever you do. You can franchise, people will have to buy them. No. Can I rent you? Yeah, whenever you need it. You don't need to own stuff.
But I have to.
Just like two suitcases so you can move free wherever you want. It's like picking up, I don't know, this, you don't need to own stuff.
Okay, thank you.
Text.
What if we like co-own it? You know what?
If our boats only go down in value.
Exactly. And you want to change the boat and now you need a smaller boat. Then you're going to move from, I don't know, Ibiza to, let's say, France. It's expensive, takes
Yeah,
time.
but how did I finance it to begin with? I loaned out my Bitcoin, right? My Bitcoin's gonna go.
Yeah, the big business and she wants to be paid.
Oh,
Goods and services, I guess.
so don't own the boat.
Never own a boat. Own a small fishing boat. I own a small fishing boat.
Well, but then you're monetizing.
Huh?
Then you're monetizing.
I just pick up fish with it, but that's like a small fishing boat. But like for the bigger boats, you're different. You don't need to be more on the boat.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Hola, hola.
Hola.
Muchas gracias por venir. Bienvenidos a Buenos Aires.
Woo!
We're like in Buenos Aires, right? Yeah. I want to know who I'm referring to. First, I follow hacks. I've been developing since a lot of years, like more than 7. Also researching Bitcoin since late 2018. Going to very networks on in the digital sphere. And now I'm building on stacks since more than 1 year. Also studying for being a Bitcoin core developer here in Argentina. I'm gonna go back to the Amazon where is my origin the next year. And right now I'm very, very grateful to be part of this project. You know, you did check that name, right? You understand what is it about. It's the legacy industry of the music. You know, communities are pretty messed up. We are seeing a lot of applications that didn't got really the fair compensation for the artists. So I'm as a musician and as a programmer and as a 3D modeler even, I'm really pissed off about that. So I building with our DAO here also in Latin America is cross countries. Sumac, that means belleza, beauty in Quechua. It's a software universal music art kernel. Basically, it's a protocol for people to share music, art on the Bitcoin L2 stacks. It's so easily to just share what you are making on. About the flow of this process is practically making a contract, charging a fee for all the entities that are the artist, curator, buyer, or remixer that can use your work. So we already have the first song minted on Bitcoin stacks. That is Cholo. Is now driving also the advance. Yolo Cholo is the first album. So how to earn Satoshi really? That's what people ask, right? Not just how to buy it on the floor or whatever. It's like how to really only as an artist. We have Satoshi from SBTC, this network that is really strong. I really believe in that. I want to test it. You just have to meet, list, launch, and earn and repeat. That's what you need to do on this ecosystem. So
Practically, I'm doing this for open source. All my work is open source. You can check it on GitHub, anywhere. My site, that is hacks.pe. So we stand for a right to play. I invite you to check sumac.app. Maybe you can get a little bit of fun over there. I follow hacks. You can follow me on Nostr or whatever. Do what you want. Okay? Thanks.
Well done, Paolo. Let's hear it one more time for Sumac. Let's hear it for all the presenters, everybody. All the demos, entire house. We're really happy to see the final projects. Really pleased with everything. So we're going to keep moving along with our agenda. So up next, we're going to have Kenny Rogers from Stacks Labs come up and give an overview, a workshop into Stacks and Clarity. So I love this energy that we have in the audience. Let's just keep that energy high. Let's do it nice. Round of applause. Welcome to Kenny Rogers.
Yeah.
While Kenny gets set up, what the rest of the afternoon looks like is after Kenny, we're going to hear from the Stacks Latam team. If you're here at the beginning of the morning, I gave an overview as to why we are here, why we are in Buenos Aires. The Stacks Latam team is going to give some context as to why that is. After the Stacks Latam team talks, we're going to hear from Eric Toy from Stacks Labs, who's going to talk about bridging Bitcoin with SBTC. And we're going to round off our last speaker with Raphael, from Hero. And so Raphael will be talking about how to build real applications using Stacks and Chainhooks.
Yeah, baby. Well, yeah.
That's enough.
Or another grandma.
Hello, everybody. I just got to say real quick before I get started. I've been with all these builders for the past week, watching them build their projects, and we could just do another real quick big round of applause because watching them go through all of this. Crazy crowd, all of them super cool. This is probably one of the coolest events I've ever been a part of. Honored to have been able to be with them during this journey. And I'm also going to put Ileana on the spot and give her a big round of applause. So with that, I'd like to welcome you all to the nerd portion of today's programming. We're going to be kind of digging into how Stacks works. We've been talking a lot about some of the opportunities. We've been looking at some of the people that are building things on it. And now we're going to kind of get into the how it actually works. And I was up vibe coding a little something last night. So you guys pay attention. We're going to play a game at the end, and the winner is going to get 100 SDX. So if anybody not paying attention, get out here and let's do this. So one of the things that I think is super important when we're talking about all this stuff is we've looked at the opportunities for why we should be interested in kind of this whole idea of activating the Bitcoin economy and building on Bitcoin and everything. But where does Stacks actually come into play in helping us to do that? And really, I think this is Bitcoin kind of serves as two things. Most people understand that Bitcoin operates as money. I think that part's pretty well understood. But the other piece of Bitcoin that I think is maybe a little bit underappreciated or less understood is its ability to operate as sort of this foundational layer for a new, better kind of internet with the same concept as what it does for money. And that concept, I think, really comes down to ownership. What Bitcoin does is it allows people to own their money. And what I really like about Stacks is Stacks builds the piping that allows developers to come in and then build the systems that money runs through and have that same concept of ownership be built in. If you look around the internet today, it really runs on like a rental model. Very few businesses really own their entire stack from beginning to end. And so we may have the good money, but the pipes that money is flowing through they're still centralized. We still don't own them. They can still be taken over, shut down by somebody that's not us. That's not the one that owns the business.
And so the vision for the future that I have with Stacks is, can we get those pipes that the money runs through to have this same ethos of decentralization and ownership and freedom and everything. So we're going to look a little bit today at how Stacks approaches that. And so I have open right here the Stacks docs. We're not going to do any slides or anything today. I'm just going to run through and we're going to kind of walk through a couple things together. So we've got the Stacks docs up here, and I find that the best way to kind of help people get their head around how Stacks works is to go through each of the components. We're going to kind of go through these one at a time, but if you're a developer and you go here to the Stacks documentation, that's really the best place to start to kind of get your head around what all these different pieces are. And so we're going to kind of go through some of these in order. We're actually going to start right here. Do you guys read those? Probably not. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit here. There we go. So this is kind of what I would say almost like what you might call the transaction journey of how somebody's going to interact with Stacks and how that's going to flow from when the user first initiates an action and how it's going to flow through the whole system and ultimately settle onto Bitcoin. It's another term that we throw around a lot. Stacks helps things settle on Bitcoin. So today we're going to kind of look at the path that actually goes down. And the first thing is obviously the user acts. So this might be a wall, this might be a DeFi protocol, whatever. This is really going to be the first point of interaction. And usually what's going to happen is that when a user uses their wallet to call a transaction, behind the scenes, that's going to be using a JavaScript library called Stacks.js. So real quick, how many people are developers out here? Okay, so like half and half about. So if you've ever built on Solidity, Stacks.js can be thought of as like Web3.js or Ethers.js, but it's really going to be the interaction layer between the user and the Clarity smart contracts. So that's kind of where the journey is going to start from the user perspective. They're going to interact with an AMP. That's going to use a Stacks.js function to then call a Clarity contract. And Clarity is kind of the lifeblood of the Stacks ecosystem because that's the language the smart contracts are actually written in. And so what we're going to do right now is I'm going to have some audience participation. That's okay with everybody. We can't see this one either, can we?
A little bit.
How about if I...
Oh, we can't tell.
This may not work. We can't see this, but that's okay. We're going to wait. All right. What this was supposed to look like was a nice, beautiful little set of templates for what we actually want our contract to do. But basically what we're going to do right now is we're going to build, it's called a multiplayer counter contract. Super simple. The goal is we're going to maintain accounts and anybody could initiate a transaction to add on to the account. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to call out what we need to add next, and you guys are going to help me kind of put together this Clarity contract so we can kind of get introduced to some of the concepts. So what I want you to do is I want you to look over here on the right. We've got a collection of a bunch of different elements of Clarity functions and contracts that we need to put together in the right order to write our contract. And so the first little block that we have over here that you guys can't see, the first thing that we have to do is define a storage map. So I'm going to start calling on everybody to shout out. If we need to define a storage map, which one of these do you think that we need to use? And I'll give you a little bit of a clue. The pink ones are the ones where we need to define something, so create something new. The yellow ones are where we need to call a function. And then the blue ones are going to be variables, so they're going to hold some values. The orange ones are going to be different data types, and the green ones are going to be the actual data itself. So if we want to define a storage map, which one of these are we going to grab?
Define map.
Somebody said define map. Hey, we want to name it counters. Which one?
Counters. The blue.
Yep. Now, we want it to be keyed by the user. And what that means is a map is basically a data structure where you have a piece of data that has an identifier. And so what we're saying here is we want the data here to be able to be identified by a user. How do we identify users in crypto?
Principal.
Addresses. So in Stacks, an address is called a principal. So we remember that the orange is the type that we want to put here, and we need it to be an identifier for a person or a principal. So that means we're going to put what here?
Principal.
Principal. And we want them to be storing a type of a number, but it's a specific kind of number called an unsigned integer, which basically means a positive number. So if we say unsigned integer and it needs to be this same type of data, which one are we going to want to throw there?
Uint.
Uint. Now we just need to end. I'm not gonna make you guys guess that one. Next, we need to define a read-only function. Which one's that gonna be?
Fine read only.
Read-only. Nice. If you can pick up on what I'm doing here, I'm trying to highlight how readable clarity is, because you can basically just pick and choose for the thing that you need to do, and there's going to be a function that's going to be named similarly to that. So we want this function to be named getCount. And the yellow ones are function definitions. There's two different ones here. So which one do you think we're going to want to use here if we're just trying to define the function name?
GetCount.
Right? Now, what we need to do here is we need to define the argument that we're going to pass to this getCount function. And we're going to call that argument to, and it's going to be a principal type. So we're going to want to do which one there?
At the bottom.
Nice. And now what we want to do here is the first thing we want to do is if whatever we're about to look up fails, we want to have a default fallback value that we're going to fall back on. And so we need our value here to default to something. So what are we going to want to call it here first then?
Default to.
Cool. And we want it to default to 0 if it doesn't find anything.
U0.
Okay. Now what we need to do next is we need to look something up in our map. And there's a little hint here for functions that end in a question mark. That means that we're going to be going out and retrieving something that may or may not exist from a map. So which one are we going to want to do there? And which map do we want to get it from?
The first one we created.
Okay. And now, remember we set up this identifier here by the principal. So now what we need to do is we need to tell this function how it knows which of these map items to go look up. And the way that we want to do that is by using a particular keyword in clarity that identifies the person that sent the transaction. So what do we want to do there?
GetCount TX sender.
Oh wait, I'm wrong. There we go. I grabbed the wrong one. What's going on here? What did I do? Oh, okay. I failed my own test. So this is probably going to be the trickiest part of it, but what we have here is when we define this function, we define an argument called who, and when we call that function, we're going to pass a principal into that, but we need to be able to reference it from within the function. So what do we want to do there?
So we need to define a public.
Not quite yet. All we're doing here is we're telling our function who we want to look up, and it corresponds to the variable name that we defined.
Who?
There we go. So that's what we want to do there. And then we're just going to end that one, and we're going to end that one, and we're going to end that one. Where are we at the time? Okay, we speed up a little bit. Next thing we want to do, define a public function. Which one's that going to be?
Define public.
We're going to call it count up. Function's going to be named. Now this one doesn't have any arguments because we don't need to pass anything into here, because what this behavior is going to do is it's just going to increment the counter that we have right here. So what we want to do is if this succeeds, we want to return a success message. In clarity, there's two return types. There's OK and error. So we want to tell this function that we need to return a success message. So we're going to do what right here? Now we need to set a value within our map. So we're going to run the map set. We need to tell it which map we want to update. It's going to be counters. And now we want to make sure that whoever calls this is the one whose count is going to be updated. So whoever sent the transaction. That's what we were trying to do before. Now we need to do an addition function, and operators work a little bit differently in clarity. If you're used to other languages, you might be used to saying, 1 + 1 = 2. In clarity, what you're actually doing is you're calling the add function and you're passing arguments to it. So we need to call a function that's named plus, which means we're going to grab this guy right here. And the next thing that we need to do is we need to get the current count of this person's counter. So we're going to retrieve that value from the map. Then we are going to add 1 to that. And now it's just a bunch of end parentheses here. And congratulations, we all wrote without putting in contact. So with that, we're going to talk a little bit about the next tool that we have in the Stacks ecosystem, which is Clarinet. So if we go back and look here at our diagram right here, Clarinet's right up here. And Clarinet is really the home base for Clarity developers because it's where they're going to initiate the process of writing their Clarinet contracts or Clarity contracts. That's where they can set up a local developer environment, get all that stuff going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a command called Clarinet new, and we're going to say multi count. We're going to change into that directory. Then what we want to do is we want to create a new contract called multi-count. And we see here, we've got a couple different folders in here. We're going to pop open cursor. You guys can semi-see that, right? We're going to get our contract right here. Right now, it's just empty. And so we're going to see if this is actually a valid contract that we just wrote together. We're going to save it right here. We're going to run back, and we're going to run Clarinet check. Congratulations, we just wrote a valid Clarity contract by putting some building blocks together.
Nice.
So that's the quick tour of Clarity. The next thing I want to go over quickly is proof of transfer, because this is a pretty core part of how Stacks actually operates. When we talk about how Stacks is like a Bitcoin layer 2 and settles on Bitcoin and has Bitcoin finality, proof of transfer is the mechanism by which all of that happens. And so we've got a diagram here that can hopefully help make this a little bit easier to understand. I don't know how readable the words are, but we'll go through each piece of it right here for what we can see. So basically it starts with the miner, which is this little guy right here. And what that miner is going to do is that miner is actually going to spend the Bitcoin. So that's how mining works in proof of transfer. The Stacks miners will start by spending Bitcoin. And what that's going to do is that's going to put them into a weighted random function to decide who's going to become the next miner. Now what they do next is a result of the Nakamoto upgrade that happened not too long ago. Previously, Stacks blocks were tied 1-to-1 with Bitcoin blocks. They happened roughly every 10 minutes. Now with the Nakamoto upgrade, what we did is decoupled the block time from Bitcoin. And so now Stacks blocks are roughly 5 seconds or so, sometimes less, is how long it takes for a block to confirm and for a transaction to settle. So most of the time, when you initiate a Stacks transaction, you go to check the Explorer. By the time you actually open it up, a lot of the time it's already confirmed, which is great. So when that miner gets selected, they start a tenure. And what that means is their tenure is going to last that whole Bitcoin block, but they're going to be mining blocks every few seconds during that amount of time. And then what they're going to do is they're going to pass those blocks to signers. So the miners do not append the blocks to the chain. The miners just propose the blocks. They pass them to signers, who are a separate party in the mining ecosystem. And what they're going to do is ensure that the blocks the miner pass actually conform to the rules of the chain. And if they do, then they're going to confirm them onto the chain. And so where does that Bitcoin actually go? That Bitcoin gets sent to stackers who are related to signers in the ecosystem. Stackers are people that are locking their Stacks tokens up in exchange for earning that Bitcoin as yield that the miner sent over. So when you earn yield on Stacks, you're not earning some randomly inflated token. You're actually earning real Bitcoin. And so the staking mechanism in Stacks is not deflationary, because it does not increase the supply of the SDX tokens outside of the set Coinbase reward. It's part of the emission schedule anyway. And so this right here, this whole picture, this is what's called a reward cycle. And a reward cycle is 2,100 Bitcoin blocks, roughly 2 weeks long. And so what'll happen is these stackers, at the end of that reward cycle, they'll get a proportion of that Bitcoin yield distributed out to them, proportional to how much they stacked in the protocol. So that's the quick whirlwind overview of proof of transfer. And the next thing I want to cover is SBTC. So SBTC is really how we can actually use Bitcoin on the Stacks chain, because as most everybody knows, Bitcoin by itself is not programmable. So if we want to take it and use it in a programmable environment, we have to somehow find a way to represent that Bitcoin within the programmable environment. Most of the time, that's either a centralized or relatively centralized solution like wrapped BTC, for example, on Ethereum. And so what the Stacks core developers sought out to do was they wanted to create as decentralized of a version of this as possible. So when Andre was up earlier, one of the kind of principles he talked about was, what can we build on Bitcoin with the technology we have available to us now that is as decentralized as possible, that then also leaves open a path to further decentralization over time. And that's really the core ethos behind how SBTC works. And so the way that this actually works is maybe another example of not being able to see. This is what I get for being a dev and doing dark mode on everything. But basically, we got Alice up here. Alice wants to use a Bitcoin and DeFi protocol, but she doesn't trust a custodian to hold her Bitcoin. And because Alice is super smart, she decided to join the Stacks ecosystem and try out SBTC. So right here, down here, you can see we've currently got 100 Bitcoin stored. This isn't real numbers, by the way. We have more than that, but for the example, we have 100 Bitcoin that is in what's called the peg wallet of SBTC. And so what's going to happen is Alice decides she wants to convert 1 Bitcoin into SBTC so she can use it in the ecosystem. She's going to send that Bitcoin to that special wallet that's collectively controlled by the signers. Now, these are a separate group of signers than what we talked about for Stacks, but it's a decentralized group of signers that are going to basically collectively control this wallet. So it's not like a single organization, it's a distributed set of organizations that are going to control this wallet. She's going to use something like the Bridge app that we have set up on the Stacks ecosystem, or as you can do also if you're an application, you can actually build your own custom version of a Bridge into the UX of your application. So her Bitcoin is going to get sent to that wallet. We have a couple different components that are then going to basically notify the signer software that that transaction has occurred. So now we've got 101 Bitcoin wrapped up into this wallet. And when I say wallet, this is really represented as a single UTXO. So what'll happen is the signers will go through and consolidate all of these transactions into a single UTXO that represents all of the Bitcoin that is being held as SBTC. So the signers will detect that, they'll pick it up. And then what they're going to do is after that gets sent to the signers, that transaction has happened, they're going to verify it. And then what they're going to do is they're going to then basically vote on if that is a valid transaction or not. If they reach 70% consensus, it's considered valid. And they are then going to mint SBTC in response to that. And part of the bridge process is that Alice will also send over a Stacks address she wants that SBTC sent to. So that's a clarity contract on the Stacks side of things. It's then going to mint that SBTC to Alice. She can now take that. She has 1 SBTC now in her Stacks wallet. She can deploy that in DeFi. She can do whatever she wants with it. Then let's say, okay, I did the DeFi stuff. I want my Bitcoin back into layer 1 Bitcoin. Now she's going to call that same contract, but she's going to call a withdrawal function. And that is, again, going to ping the signers to say, hey, we've got a withdrawal. They're then going to initiate the process of withdrawing that back to Alice on the L1. So Alice gets her 1 Bitcoin. After they have verified that that transaction has occurred successfully, then those SBTC signers are going to burn the corresponding amount of SBTC. So because of this system, SBTC is always exactly 1-to-1 correlated with Bitcoin, and people can move it in and out of that as they wish. So that's how SBTC works. And all of this eventually settles on Bitcoin because there's one piece of that proof of transfer protocol that we didn't quite mention yet. And that is that what happens when a miner switches tenures to the next miner, what they do is they will record the hash of the last block that they mined in that handover process. There's a transaction that will initiate the handoff from one miner to the next. They're going to record the last hash of the mine that they blocked, the block that they mined. When the miner then the next miner takes over and they start appending blocks and proposing them to the signers, the first thing the signers will do is verify that they are building on top of the correct block that they're supposed to, and they're not going to allow them to mine those blocks if they're not. Because if the miner's not doing that, that means that they're attempting to overtake the network and create their own fork of the Stacks chain. So the Stacks chain will always follow 1-to-1 in lockstep with the Bitcoin chain. And this is what we mean when we say that Stacks has Bitcoin finality. Because of the way that mechanism works, if you wanted to go back and reverse a Stacks transaction, you would actually have to go back and reverse the Bitcoin transaction that it was included in, because it's not going to be considered a relevant block to build, and the signers are going to reject it, because the signers and the miners have complementary incentives. So they're not competing, but they're not the same either. So the signers are incentivized to make sure the blocks are valid. The miners are incentivized to mine the blocks. And so that complementary system is what helps lock down that Bitcoin finality. So, you guys want to play a game? I want to see how much you were paying attention. We're going to play Stacklander. There can only do one. If anybody gets that reference. So, I'm going to hit this. You guys are going to all get your phones out. And we're going to scan this. We're going to play a little trivia game. The more correct answers you get and the faster you answer them, the more points you get. After the game's over, I'm going to send 100 stacks to whoever gets the top spot. So hopefully y'all paid attention. I'm going to have my feelings hurt if you didn't. Let me know if it's not working.
Can I put my BTC name or does it need to be, yeah?
I'm just going to manually send it, so put whatever there.
Blockface is the first one in.
If you don't have a stacks address yet, put that in there and talk with me after and we'll get you set up with one. Everybody good? Anybody still going? Wait, all right. Wait. We got 6 minutes. The game only takes about a minute and a half, so we're good.
My address is in my laptop.
Bravo, you're trolling on me.
Yeah, I totally.
No wonder it wouldn't let me get that name.
I know. You were stuck with Pendejo.
I have some competition there. Also, fair warning, I put this at like midnight last night, so I tested it a few times on my own, but just keep that in mind. Everybody in?
Yep.
Somebody say no? Mike, are you saying no or are you stretching your neck? Okay. All right, we're gonna do this. Everybody get ready? You're gonna be looking at your phones. That's where you're gonna wanna look. Questions are gonna pop up. You gotta get the right answer as quick as you can. Ready? Get ready. Halfway there.
Yes, Harold, I will tell him that.
All right, we're down to the last question. Let's see who's gonna win this thing. Here it comes. Wow,
Oh!
congratulations. No, Fred's the real winner. All right, that's it for me. Thank you, everybody. Oh, is there any questions? We need a question for a couple minutes if anybody has any.
Anybody have any questions for Kenny?
All right, guys, that does it for me for the live stream. Gonna switch off.
Thanks.
Hopefully GP's in the wings to reset up the screen share for restream content. But we are wrapping up our presence at Buenos Aires. We'll see
Here we
y'all
are,
later.
Buenos Aires. And so one of the reasons as to why that is due to the efforts of a few important folks in the Stacks community. These guys have been working really hard and doing lots of community programming and activation for the last 18 months. They're going to talk a little bit about their stories, some lessons they learned along the way, what they've achieved, and what they're going to get involved in.
Oh no, we're gonna stay. We're gonna stay. I didn't realize it was Stacks Latam. Let's go. Woo! Brother, can you do me a favor? Yeah, sure. Can you just hold this on that for a minute? Sure. That's it, man.
Hi guys, what's up? It's glad to come here. But this brief summary is super important and deeply kind such that we are grateful now. Downloading a document and pass on to Colombia. Well, 2024 was a big year. Start that mission to increase developer adoption in Latin America. 2025 was awesome because you are here for that. Well, again, 2024 was expand and increase our ecosystem in countries like Peru, Colombia, Argentina, Brazil. The idea was launched the first graduate camp in Spanish. We received over 100.5 applications, and finally, we invest 15 hours learning. Next, Nakamura Meetups was the perfect skills to increase our scope. For example, we have 6 countries in 9 big cities to explain how works stacks, how works clarity, few weeks under the Nakamura tablets. Hopefully, the complete was an event and our purpose to increase our scope to explain how stacks is working with Bitcoin. In the end of 2024, we execute our first online hackathon with different countries in order to meet your projects and increase our impact for the next year. And that's it. Rolling 25. Okay, thank you, Jonathan. So, what happened in 2025 is a achieve plan. We start growing the ecosystem, continue growing the ecosystem, but we try to focus more in retention builders. So we did a roadmap for this year when we try to activate every city in North America with different kinds of initiatives like IRL meetups, like technical workshops, and online bootcamp. Because they think about many developers from Latin America here.
You're officially a DeOrganized Partner.
Very exciting for us. Many projects from different countries from Latin America here in Argentina, building and sharing their projects to all the crypto and Bitcoin community. This was part of the plan. We did a lot of meetups in Chile, Colombia, Peru. We activated the tech partnerships here in Argentina, like Rudderback, who already won a prize in Tax by Coding Hackathon. We unlock new developer communities like Bolivia, countries where we've never been before. And also we expand our presence in other countries like Argentina, like Mexico or Brazil. There are those you didn't see, but it was around growing around 600% between 2024 and 2025. We grow with more than 40 developers in the ecosystem right now. In comparison with last year, when we did a hacker house, we had approximately 80 developers. So it's exciting for us like have more developers in our ecosystem right now. But what was one of our most important regional milestone? We did a hackathon last month, an online hackathon, the started an online hackathon, and we have more than 250 builders from across Latin America building projects and stuff. We achieved a record with more than 50 stacks-based projects. Our initial objective was 10 projects, so it was a good result for us, like more than 50 projects building and doing things and stuff. And the winners from this hackathon come here to our hacker house in Argentina. We have winners from Brazil, from Peru, from Mexico, and Bolivia, winners that you already saw in the previous presentation, like B2P, like certificates like X402 and stuff. Other success stories we have here in LATAM ecosystem. 2 of the 3 winners from the Global Stacks hackathon, Bitcoin hackathon, came from LATAM. Rudder Labs, the first place for this hackathon, they are from Argentina, and they won the hackathon after participating in one of our Clarity workshops we did with them in the month of September. So this is good for us because with this initiative, we activate a region like Argentina, which is going to be important for the ecosystem here in Latin America. And also, the winner of the 2024 Stacks Latam Hackathon and Stacks Latam Hacker House we did last year during the BitConf, here in Argentina, still working in the Stacks ecosystem and be part from the Stacks program, which is like one of the most inclusive programs in the Stacks ecosystem. And he joined to the Stacks ecosystem and the Stacks Hacker House, for his participation in our program. So that's it. Well, that's what we want to share with us. This is part of the result we had in these 2 years. We have a growth between the quantity of builders we retain between 2024 and 2025. And now LATAM is one of the strongest contributors to Stacks ecosystem builder panel. What else? Right. Well, as Jonathan told us, we are just now 3 people in the Stacks core team building, but we invite you, if you are a developer, if you are a builder, if you are an educator, builder, or even you are interested in being part from the Stacks Latam, it doesn't matter what country are you, if you are from Brazil, from Mexico, doesn't matter. We come together, accelerate the Stacks adoption and create impact across the region. If you are interested in joining us in this ecosystem and continue building and continue growing the ecosystem, you can scan this QR code, share with your friends, share with any people who are interested. We speak Spanish, we speak Portuguese, we speak English also, so we have space for everyone in Latin America to continue building in Stacks. And what's next for 2026? So we want to increase our presence here in Argentina, but also in other cities important in Latin America as Mexico or Brazil. We have the mission to expand not only developer education, we want to continue with community education and also help with other protocols and other the apps or projects who are already building in Bitcoin with the Stacks to connect them with the LATAM builders, with the LATAM ecosystem, and give more opportunities for our people to work with them. And we are going to continue keep pushing to accomplish that the next major fronts, that the next major Stacks projects come from Latin America. So I think it's all. Thank you very much. Gracias. Español. Obrigado.
Well done, Stacks Latam team. You guys earned and deserve a little bit more of a louder round of applause than that. Let's hear it a little bit louder. Well done, Angel and Jonathan. So while they pack up, we have a quick update. So next we're going to hear from Eric. Eric is going to talk about bridging Bitcoin and building with the SBTC JS library. And Eric is going to be our final speaker of the day. So when Eric is wrapped, I'll do an official close, and then we will go into the happy hour closing event of the entire conference. So let's hear it for our last speaker of the day. Let's hear it for Eric Toy from the Stacks Labs.
Hello. Oh, nice talk. Oh, I'm live. So, for those who have seen my demo on Sunday, I demoed basically how to bridging your Bitcoins to SBTC via the SBTC library. And, oh yeah. Yeah. It's, oh, okay. Well, yeah, they can see it. Okay, cool. This is fine. Yeah, this is the browser. Yeah. All right. So let me see how I can do this. All right. All right. So I don't have any slides. Yeah. I'm just raw notes and raw coding. So, all right. So for those who've seen me on Sunday, you've seen me demo how to use the SBTC JS library for pegging in your Bitcoins to SBTC. And I did the reverse of pegging your SBTC out back into Bitcoin. For those who are still sticking around for the last workshop, you know what? I'm gonna peg in the Bitcoins and have somebody else receive the minted SBTC. Who wants the SBTC? Oh, okay, let me randomize it. Who should I pick? Who can say SBTC the loudest? Let's do that, all right? Who can say SBTC the loudest? Well, let's do it on 3. 3, 2, 1. I think you won.
Yeah, absolutely.
Send me a Stacks address in a Telegram group. Okay, so yeah, this workshop's going to be about using that library so that anybody, any app, any builder can integrate a peg in and peg out process for SBTC for their users. At the moment, there is obviously an official SBTC bridge app, but with this library, with this JS library, you can integrate that into your own app and customize it based on the flow of your app and the UX of your app. Scrolling down, so the goals for this workshop is, to understand the Bitcoin to SBTC pegging flow, understand the reverse, which is the SBTC back into Bitcoin peg out flow, and to persuade you to build your own SBTC bridge UI. So I feel like everyone here is in the know already. Do I need to explain this? What do you think? No? Yes? No?
Give the 10-second version.
Okay. What does it mean to bridge Bitcoin? It means to bring Bitcoin from the layer 1 to the layer 2 on Stacks and to make Bitcoin productive, programmable, unleash Bitcoin's power. All right, a high-level overview of how the system works. We have, think of it as 3 different parties. On the left side is the Bitcoin chain, on the right side is the Stacks chain, and in the middle are very well reputable, trusted men in suit and ties signers, right? These are the guys that we're trusting to sign the SBTC operations, communicate with the SBTC contracts, and also help to manage the SBTC UTXOs. The SBTC UTXO, to give you a little quick glimpse of what that is. That is up over here. Let me refresh the page by clicking on this. This is where the single SBTC UTXO lives on this ginormous Taproot address, and this is controlled by the signers. It's very dark right now, it's very hard to see, but the current balance is about 4,300, and that represents how much the value is in SBTC on Stacks right now. So,
It's just on like
over here,
400 million.
we go back here. And yeah. All right. So this is understanding the pagan flow. We're going to go one level deeper into the pagan flow. Let me make it bigger. Did you send, Antonio, send your Stacks address to me? Okay, yeah.
He needs it now.
Gotta get it. Yeah, he's getting the minted SBTC that I'm gonna be demonstrating. Lucky man right there. All right, so this is one level deeper for the pagan flow of what we're gonna demonstrate. The user, that's me. I'm gonna be on Bitcoin. I'm gonna send my Bitcoin not to the signers, but to a custom Taproot address or a custom P2TR, pay to Taproot address. Once this transaction confirms, the signers will then sweep this UTXO right here into their main address that I showed you a second ago. They're going to complete all their configuration checks and whatnot. And then once they feel that it's confirmed and that they have UTXO in their address, they will then invoke the clarity contracts on the right side, on the Stack side, and then Antonio will be getting minted, freshly minted SBTC. So the overview of the deposit pagan flow of what I just went through in that diagram. As the builder, you have 4 things that you need to do. You need to build the SBTC deposit address or that custom Taproot address, sign and broadcast the Bitcoin transaction, notify the signers that you are making a deposit, and then confirm the user's balance at the end. All right, let's get into the demo. Any questions so far? No? Well, that's a good thing. All right. So I have this code over here. I'm gonna run it locally. Right now it's running locally on a local server. I'm gonna bring up that website. Slide this over. Pretty good. All right. So yeah. I'll repeat it again. What we're going to do now is peg in Bitcoin from my wallet into SBTC to Antonio's Stacks address. And let me get that address. Oh, send me a tested address. I need, like, we're dealing with real money here. I'm going to be sending you real SBTC here, not testnet.
Yeah.
But I can go through the code. Oh, wait, that's kind of hard to see the code, right?
We can see.
Oh, we can see it.
Okay, from my angle, it's like blurred a little bit, but oh yeah, you're right. Come on down. All right, so let me make it bigger. Actually, it's kind of small. Oh, you send me
Yeah.
send me your main address. Nice, perfect. Update the code. All right, so this field over here, I'm gonna get rid of that field. And I'm gonna replace it with Antonio's address. Oh. All right. That's- All right, cool. It's working now. Let me just refresh my app. Oh, cool. And let me make the code bigger again. All right. So, all right. So at the top over here, we're creating that custom Bitcoin or custom Tether address. This address is controlled by me, user, and also the signers. Once we create that custom address, we're going to send it and pass it into this field over here. This method is going to invoke your Sats wallet, and it's going to create a Bitcoin transfer. We're going to specify that custom deposit address that we just made, and also the amount of Bitcoin that we want to peg into SBTC. And then at the end over here, we are going to retrieve the TX hex of that same Bitcoin transaction that we just made. And we're going to notify the signers about it, just so that they are aware that there is a pegging process that is being requested, and for them to basically monitor it, check it, and sweep those Bitcoins into their main address. And that's it. It's pretty simple. We're using the SBTC library for that create deposit address method. And also with this client over here, this client is using, he's able to communicate with the signers via the Emily API. And then so with this short amount of code, we can simulate the Bitcoin to SBTC process. So let's go ahead and peg. Well, first, I want to make sure my wallet is properly connected, actually. So, let's go and you know what? Yeah. Second. All right. So my wallet's connected to my app, and I'm going to go ahead and click on the purple button. I made it purple just so I can differentiate between peg in and peg out, right? So we're pegging into sets, the old purple facade. So let's go ahead and invoke that function. And nothing is happening. Hold on a second. Okay. We're back. All right. Let's put in my password. Is that what it is? Okay, this off screen, and so nobody can see what I'm typing in, just in case. All right, and we're back. So to summarize, I'm making a Bitcoin transaction to mint into SBTC. The transaction is going to consist of 0.01 Bitcoin. That is at the moment the minimum to peg in. And then we're going to confirm it. And then in about maybe 2 or 3 Bitcoin block confirmations, you should be receiving freshly minted SBTC on mainnet.
Woo!
Okay, and my Bitcoins went through. At the moment, it's probably in Deadpool right now, waiting for confirmation. But essentially, it's honestly as easy as that, and you can customize this flow however you want to based on the purpose of your app, the UX of your app, UI. So just a little glimpse as to that custom deposit address that we created. Essentially, we're creating an address or temporary address that, let me make it bigger. Okay. So we're creating a temporary address that contains a deposit script that is controlled by the signers, reclaim script controlled by me if I want to reclaim back my Bitcoins, and an unspendable pub key that's kind of like, doesn't really mean anything, but essentially it technically means that this address right here doesn't have a spendable private key. So meaning like that actually nobody has control over this address, but the signers and I have control over those scripts over there. And honestly, that was it. So there was the reverse process, the withdrawing of your SBTC back into Bitcoin. It's pretty similar. The user on Stacks is gonna burn their SBTC in the Clarity contracts, and then the signers will be receiving that emitted event from the contracts. And then the signers, after performing their checks, they will then send back the Bitcoins to your Bitcoin address. And so the process for the developer is just, you want to make sure that the Bitcoin address is valid, make a contract call to the specific SBTC contract, and then you want to confirm that transaction. So lastly, to sum it up, why build your own SBTC bridge? Well, I kind of stated it in the beginning. One, you can tailor the UX for your specific app's flow. For those who use the main app, maybe there might be some things that you want to add more, such as more status updates or more information regarding that, regarding the transaction, either on the Bitcoin side or on the Stack side. You alleviate having your users from moving away from your apps, so that you don't need to have your user open up a new window, a new browser, a new app, localize it, rebrand it for your community, and you can continue to make Bitcoin bridging invisible. And on the final thing that I want to leave you guys on is the official bridge proves minting SBTC works. Your bridge proves what's possible next. So that's it.
Let's hear it for the winner of the new receiver of Eric's SBTC.
He got about $100 worth of it.
Let's
All
go.
because of his loud voice. Sometimes you have to be loud.
And also thanks to the current minimum of how much you can pay in. Right now, the minimum is about $100 worth of Bitcoin. So,
Okay.
Honestly, if there was no minimum, I would have just maybe gave you like $5. But now you have $100 worth of
for minimum.
So.
Awesome. Thanks, Eric. Well done. Well done. That was fun. All right, everyone. So that is a wrap. That was our last speaker. Today, we had a panel, and we had a keynote, and we had a fireside. We had another panel, and we had 11 projects give demonstrations of what they've been working on really hard for the last 4 days, followed by our final 2 workshops that just wrapped up today. I'm your host. I'm Adam. I am white. We're going to move into our little closing happy hour session. Don't talk to me. I'm too tired. I need a minute. No, I'm kidding. Let's go have some fun over there. We have beverages. We have refreshments. We have some food. Let's go have some fun. Let's mingle. Let's network with everybody. Thank you for coming out. Bitcoin Builders Conference. Buenos Aires. That's a wrap. Thank you.
Let's go. All right, guys, that's a wrap. We're wrapping up our presence at Buenos Aires for DevConnect and all of the Stacks events around. I'll be back at my desk, probably not tomorrow morning. I'll be flying in tomorrow morning around showtime. I think I'll see you guys on Friday. Y'all have a blessed rest of your day. I'm gonna hook up with GP and we'll get some more content going soon. See y'all on the flip side. Y'all have a blessed rest of your day.
Oh, it's okay. Keep it. Oh. Yes.
DeOrganized media keeps the mind share. Growing in the morning with peace and GP. Keep you knowing the alpha keeps flowing. The hunters tools they be showing. The AI Gale keeps them in clips that be glowing. Consistent on the daily, they bring Bitcoin news.